I've been streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Victoria faces its second boil water notice in a month. How city leaders are promising action to fix problems and rebuild trust. Plus, Victoria ISD staff get pay raises next year, but higher insurance costs could offset those gains. And Texas Democrats block Republican redistricting vote. The high-stakes fight over congressional maps heats up ahead of the 2026 elections.
Summer is in full swing here at the Crossroads, but we got rain chances coming up this weekend. We'll be talking about that coming up in weather.
And a cruise ship passenger is injured after a water slide broke. What went wrong and how the cruise line is responding. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Shauna Curry. The second of Victoria's, or the city of Victoria rather's second boil water notice in less than a month, active now for 47 hours, and city leaders are still investigating both notices. City Manager Jesus Garza took responsibility after the first boil water notice ended on Tuesday, July 15th. 25 News Now reporters spoke with Garza earlier today. He says the subcommittee made up of Mayor Dwayne Crocker and council members Jan Scott and Andrew Young work together with the support of city staff to prevent future notices and restore trust from residents.
In order to truly prevent this from happening again, we really need to complete a comprehensive overview of all of those elements to then start addressing them one by one. I guarantee you that there has been nonstop work every day since the first boil water notice to get to the bottom of what happened and try and figure out how we prevent it from happening again. Obviously, the fact that it happened again further erodes that trust and further suggests to me that we need to make some major changes.
Garza says the city hopes to rescind the boil water notice today, and the subcommittee will continue to investigate into the personnel, equipment, or process that have led to these two notices. We have reached out to members of the committee for comment. Mayor Dwayne Crocker and Dr. Andrew Young have declined to comment. Councilwoman Jan Scott has yet to respond. With the boil water notice in effect, the restaurants around town are now making adjustments to how they serve. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley spoke with an employee at one local restaurant. And Ray, how are they managing serving their customers?
Yes, Shauna, Yamato employee Thomas Presas was somewhat anticipating the boil water notice and was already coming up with ways to adapt. Presas says he's using bottled water and canned soda to serve his customers, but isn't able to make their tea. He says he's not too stressed, but wants to get back to serving customers as quickly as possible.
With it being so empty in here, it's not as full, it's not as joyful, it's not as fun. We really want everybody to come in here as day to day, as soon as you can. It would really mean probably the world to each one of our servers here. We have usuals that come in. We haven't seen any of our usuals in a good bit.
David Gonzalez at the health department says restaurants during this second boil water notice do not have to follow all the strict guidelines released during the first boil water notice because the issue was isolated to one area that does not have any restaurants. It's not required to limit the services. 25 News Now spoke with the manager at another local restaurant who says he estimates the two boil water notices have cost his business about $2,000. He says that's a significant impact for small businesses in this area. Shauna?
Here's our viewer poll tonight. Should the city offer more financial credits or aid to affected customers and businesses? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to share your thoughts. And right now, 85% say that yes, the city should offer more financial credit or financial aid in some way. 15% saying no. Continue voting, and we'll have another look at these numbers coming up on 25 News Now at 6. Okay, well, it's hot is just hot, but today I have to say was brutal. Let's go to meteorologist Jacob Lozano with a first look outside at our forecast. Jacob.
That's right, Shauna. We need to come up with like a different word for just hot and hot, I guess, for us. But we're looking at 97 right here. It says 99 right down there. 96 right now at the airport, feeling like 102 outside. Yeah, that's a bit hot for us here with the east-southeasterly winds at about 10 miles per hour. But we only got up to 97 here at the airport as of 3:51 p.m., which is right around average for this time of the year. Still 103 is the record from 1953, but Look at that. We're lacking in the rain chances, but the rain chances are on the way. So we have that dome of high pressure here starting to move off and shrink as it moves out west. We got this mid-upper level low here that's going to be pushing its way here on the Texas coastline here by Saturday evening into Sunday. So I'm thinking Sunday into Monday is going to be our best chance for some rain as we start to see this mid-upper level low make landfall here for us. But it doesn't necessarily do away with the heat, though, as temperatures are still going to be relatively hot here. By 2 p.m., we're going to look at that for tomorrow. 103 is the heat index, so temperatures are still going to be feeling triple digits as we await afternoon showers and thunderstorms. But we'll be talking about the weekend showers more coming up after this. Shauna?
John Cornyn enters a critical window to change the trajectory of Texas's Senate primary against Ken Paxton. To read this full Texas Tribune article, come to crossroadstoday.com. Calhoun County ISD and the Victoria College are getting a boost in job training funds. The Texas Workforce Commission is awarding Jobs and Education for Texans, or JET grants, to help schools train students for high-demand careers. Calhoun County ISD will get nearly $80,000 to train 150 students as registered nurses in partnership with Victoria College. And Victoria College will receive more than $227,000 to prepare 75 students for work as chemical plant and systems operators. The grants will pay for new equipment to help students step right into good-paying jobs after graduation. Victoria ISD staff will see another round of pay raises this school year, but higher insurance costs could eat into that increase. The Board of Trustees approved the new compensation plan at last night's meeting. Starting teacher pay will rise to $50,000 with raises ranging from $1,500 to $5,000 based on experience. Other staff, including paraprofessionals and bus drivers, will also see a bump. At the same time, employee insurance premiums are climbing nearly 10% on average statewide, and the district is not increasing its contribution to cover the higher costs for Victoria ISD employees. The district is proposing to hold the tax rate steady at 80.35 cents per $100 of valuation. A public hearing on the tax rate is scheduled for August 28th. And the Victoria College Board is holding a public hearing on the college's 2025 tax rate. On Monday, the board will meet at 4 p.m. to hear from the public and take action on the item. The VC board is proposing a property tax rate increase to 18.32 cents per $100 of taxable value. The current rate for VC is 17.09 cents per $100 of valuation. Now to the redistricting fight in Texas as Republican legislators look to rewrite the state district maps to flip congressional seats in their favor. Dozens of state Democrats still digging in, refusing to return to the state today, once again preventing a vote on those new districts. ABC's Olivia Rubin has the latest.
Today, a win for Texas Democrats, preventing a key vote in the state legislature on a Republican proposal to redraw the state congressional maps in their favor. Republican legislators at the Capitol in Austin today to vote, but some Democratic legislators fled the state, literally refusing to show up for the vote. It's rare for redistricting to happen mid-decade, but it's happening now, largely at the request of President Trump ahead of the 2026 midterm elections, to potentially allow the GOP to keep control of the U.S. House of Representatives. Usually, it occurs after the census to adjust for things like population changes.
Are you calling in for a complete redrawing of the congressional map?
No, just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
Democrats slamming the move as voter suppression. In one instance, the new map would chop up Central Texas's 37th congressional district, currently led by a Democrat, and break it into 4 pieces, 3 of them absorbing into neighboring Republican districts.
But the undemocratic nature of this is the fact that a president of the United States, any president, can call up a state governor and demand that he roll over and redraw congressional representation because this president, Donald Trump, is afraid of the voters in 2026. And it's shameful that we have a governor in Greg Abbott who's unwilling to say, don't mess with Texas.
Republicans in the state going so far as to threaten arrest for the Democrats blocking the move. Governor Abbott previously amping up the consequences, saying on a recent podcast, if the lawmakers don't come back, they'll redistrict even more.
If they don't start showing up, I may start expanding. We may make it 6 or 7 or 8 new seats we're going to be adding on the Republican side.
This fight is now reverberating nationwide, with Democrats around the country saying that if this measure passes, they'll redistrict their states too, this time in favor of Democrats. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
A nonprofit serving people with mental health conditions, autism, and developmental disabilities is getting ready for significant layoffs. Texana Center announced it will end its participation in 2 Medicaid waiver programs effective September 19th. 134 positions will be eliminated in areas including Wharton, Fort Bend County, and El Campo. Texana's leadership says rising costs, including living wages, Medicare rates, and quality care expenses, combined with insufficient state funding, have made it impossible to keep the programs financially viable. A hunter from Texas was killed by a buffalo he was tracking during an expedition in South Africa. Asher Watkins was killed on Sunday in what was called a sudden and unprovoked attack. Conrad Vermaak Safaris, the company that organized the trip, says Watkins was taking part in safari-style hunting, which involves driving around hunting areas in an open-top safari truck in search of game. After a target animal is spotted, hunters follow them on foot before taking a shot. The company says it will not be offering further details on how Watkins died. The safari groups say buffaloes are regarded as the most dangerous animals to trail in Africa. A panel broke off a water slide on a Royal Caribbean cruise, injuring a guest. A cruise line spokesperson said acrylic glass broke off as an adult guest passed through the slide. Video taken by another passenger shows the hole in the water slide on the Icon of the Seas ship. The cruise line said the guest is being treated for his injuries and the water slide is closed for the rest of the cruise pending an investigation. Icon of the Seas features 6 water slides and 7 pools. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. Trump orders the military to target drug cartels. A new move to label Latin America cartels as terrorists and what it means for U.S. military action. Plus, extreme heat fuels wildfires across the West, how firefighters are racing to contain blazes as communities face evacuations.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We hear from Port Lavaca Main Street, the Salvation Army of Victoria, Victoria ISD, the Welder Center, and the Victoria Symphony.
STEM Middle are creating their own instruments that they're going to showcase at this concert the night of. And so I've already worked with the teachers for a couple of days, and the kids are going to get to come and enjoy it. And it's open to the public. I have 1,300 tickets to sell to the public.
President Trump is directing the military to target Latin American drug cartels, now labeled as terrorist groups. A secret directive could allow military action against cartels at sea and abroad, a shift from traditional law enforcement roles. The Pentagon is reviewing how to proceed after cartels were officially named foreign terrorist groups earlier this year. The Defense Department will not comment on the directive. As the Trump administration dismantles clean energy programs, the EPA is canceling a $7 billion grant program for solar projects for lower-income Americans. The money was part of the Solar for All effort. It had been awarded to states, tribes, and regions deemed in need of solar rooftops as well as community solar gardens. Renewable energy such as solar introduces cleaner energy into the electric grid and can lower energy bills. Well, now taking a look behind the menu at local food establishment inspection reports. Inspectors found issues at 3 Crossroads eateries. In Lavaca County, Emiliano's Mexican Grill in Yoakum had 23 demerits. In Calhoun County, Don Julio's Mexican Restaurant in Port Lavaca had 18 demerits. And in Jackson County, Circle R Drive-In in Lolita had 15 demerits. 12 eateries in Victoria received a perfect score of no demerits. Those include A+ Kids Care Learning Center 2, Ace Hardware, and Astoria Wines, Beans Up Coffee, DaCosta Herman Sons Home Association, Dollar General on John Stockbauer, Pam Health Rehabilitation Hospital, Pam Specialty Hospital, Sodalis Victoria Assisted Living, Target, Walmart, Subway on Houston Highway, and the Wiener Schnitzel on John Stockbauer. More than 50 million Americans are under heat alerts today, with states from California to Minnesota seeing triple-digit temperatures. The hot weather making the wildfire danger in the West even worse, as evacuation orders are underway in Southern California and parts of Colorado, where wildfires are growing. ABC's Melissa Adon has the latest from Los Angeles.
Dangerous hot and dry weather is fueling wildfires across the West. In northwestern Colorado, 2 wildfires are burning in mountain communities. The Lee and Elk fires scorching more than 73,000 acres, forcing some residents to evacuate.
There's a lot of people that live here that have cattle that lived here all their lives. Those cattle they cut their fences, they opened their gates, they hope they made it through. It's very devastating for our entire community.
Thousands evacuating their homes in northern Los Angeles and Ventura counties. A local emergency declared after the Canyon fire exploded in size, reaching nearly 5,000 acres in less than 24 hours. Flames nearing hundreds of homes and power lines. Crews quickly working to put out the flames, the conditions fueled by this hot, dry weather. The heat so intense in Palm Springs, California, planes could not even land at an airport there. More than 50 million Americans are experiencing record-breaking heat from California to Minnesota.
Red flag warnings are in place across 5 states out west, from New Mexico to Oregon, as low humidity and strong winds are making conditions even more challenging for firefighters. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
This Saturday, your football action kicks off right here. On KMOL NBC 17, the Dallas Cowboys will clash with the Los Angeles Rams, kicking off at 6 p.m. And here on KAVU ABC 25, the Houston Texans are taking on the Minnesota Vikings starting at 3 o'clock. 2 big games, 1 big Saturday.
Well, if you have any outdoor activities for tomorrow, we're going to be talking about rain chances coming up after the break. Well, we've definitely been in those dog days of summer with all of this heat, but shower activity is going to be picking up here. Now, I did mention yesterday about a 10% here if there was just enough heat to break the cap there, and there definitely was a little bit of breaking there around Edna, as well as parts of Houston saw some of that as well. But there it is. We got a little shower that popped up there and a little shower that popped up there around Palacios still. a nice little thunderstorm had popped up there just north of Brazos Port. But like I mentioned, it was about a 10%. We're still going to be keeping that here as we go in through the evening time, but that's going to be diminishing there back to 0% here. But if we look at future tracker, that high pressure moves on out of the way and allows for some clouds to begin to roll back in with some moisture here by 7 a.m. Saturday. We're going to keep it about 20% here for Saturday afternoon, though, here as we wait a mid-level low that'll come onshore, and that will increase our rain chances a little bit more as well. But 2 p.m. there, started to see a little pockets of isolated showers, maybe a little thunderstorm associated with that. But by 4 o'clock, started to see it move more towards Victoria here. But by the evening time, it begins to dissipate here. So by 8 p.m., looking at mostly cloudy skies through the evening time, picking back up once again by 6 a.m. here Sunday. A little bit more shower activity because that mid-level, that inverted trough has now made its way on shore here. So now it's going to be pulling in moisture here throughout the day. So shower activity is going to be possible throughout the day, 20 to 30%. It's going to be relatively scattered throughout the day. Some places will see some rain, some places won't see some rain, and some places will see some good rain. Kind of just how that goes here for us. But by 6 p.m. to 7, the rain chances diminish here. But it comes back here on Monday again here because that mid-upper level low stalls out there around South Texas, still bringing in moisture for us here. So we'll have another good shot of some rain here Monday for us here as we head through the evening or afternoon time here on Monday. But the rainfall totals are going to be, like I mentioned, pretty scattered out. About an inch is probably at most we'll probably see for tomorrow. But as we get to Sunday, 1 inch to 2 inches could be possible with some of these showers and thunderstorms here. Maybe a localized little heavier downpour there. But Monday we'll be seeing those same conditions as well with that more moisture moving through the region. But we're also looking at the tropics. The tropics have been lighting up here. We have this area right here in orange, 40% chance of development. However, it has dropped 20% from yesterday. So the next 5 days, as it begins to wrap around this high pressure, it's going to run into a lot of wind shear. Got limited time before it really begins to cut off. As well, we have that area in yellow now has a 10% chance of development. It's just got way too much wind shear going on with that. It's going to be following those same tracks as post-tropical cyclone Dexter, moving back out towards the northeast. But this is what we're watching. We're watching this area. This green area is what we are watching, not the National Hurricane Center yet, but we are watching this wave come off of the tropics or off of the coast of Africa here. 9% chance, very low over August 15th, 17th. Yes, it is very far away. Lots of consistency in the models, though, so it's something that we just can't necessarily just not talk about. So we're going to continue to monitor this here as it makes its way across the Atlantic here for us as, well, we're getting close to the peak of hurricane season for us, and it's something that we're just going to have to keep on watching for us here. But for your daily planner in Victoria, 95 here, southeasterly winds with partly cloudy skies, keeping it at 20% chance of rain here for Victoria and Port Lavaca. Cuero, more of a 10% chance of rain. They'll get relatively more sunnier skies here by the afternoon time, 96 as the high. But the next 7 days, 30% here Sunday, Monday, keeping it at 20% Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with temperatures relatively around average. Now, don't forget to scan the QR code for more news, weather, and sports. And here's Shauna.
Well, still to come on 25 News Now at 5. Thieves target a store in a midnight break-in. See what the owner found on camera. Stocks close out the week on a positive note. The Dow up 207 points, the S&P 500 up 49 points, and the Nasdaq up 207 points. Oil is down 53 cents to $63.88 per barrel. A California store owner is speaking out after thieves ransacked her store and stole thousands of dollars worth of valuable collectibles. The brazen theft happened early Wednesday morning, and the robbers still have not been caught. Michelle Giles has the details.
Thieves broke in and stole thousands of dollars of collectible Labubu plush toys Wednesday at One Stop Sales in La Puente. Instinct told owner Joanna Avendano to check her phone in the middle of the night, and she watched the burglary crew on the security cameras, immediately calling 911.
I saw when they shattered the window from the door, and they just rushed in, started speaking and telling each other to grab certain stuff. So it's like if they knew what they were going for and where the stuff was, which I'm not sure how.
Joanna Avendano says the men dressed in hoodies and masks and took several sets of authentic Labubu keychain dolls and some larger plush Labubus totaling about $30,000. Her entire inventory was almost wiped out. There are fake Labubu toys called Lafufus. This is one of them here. The store owners say that the thieves may not have realized it, but they actually ended up stealing a couple of cases of the phony ones, the Lafufus, which are worth about a third of what the real ones are worth. The popular Labubus start around $50 and go as high as several $100.
They're using a crowbar to open the first door. It probably took them like 5 minutes to open the first door.
LA County Sheriff's deputies came to the store to get more details about what's missing.
Right now, I haven't been able to sleep. It's very frustrating because I feel like people don't know how it makes us feel like as business owners. It's already hard enough in this industry.
Coming up, a very unique back-to-school report as we take a look at a school superintendent who creates viral pop music parodies starring his students and staff. Get ready to meet the parody principal.
Coming up, breaking news, an active shooter reported at Emory University. Police racing to the scene. Also, what President Trump just said about meeting with Vladimir Putin and remembering an American hero, Apollo 13 astronaut Jim Lovell. Next.
As kids and teachers nationwide prepare to go back to school, one very creative superintendent in southern Indiana is about to go viral for turning hilarious pop music parodies into silly school announcements starring his own students and staff. Jeremy Roth sits down with the parody principal for this special back to school report.
Everybody. It's back to school season, and for most administrators, that means prep work, planning, and oversight. But for one super creative Southern Indiana school superintendent, it also means turning school business into show business.
School is back, all right. I tell people all the time, that I can't believe that I get to do this as a part of my job as a superintendent. My name is Mike Allen, and I am the superintendent of Evansville Christian School, but I'm also known as the parody principal.
For more than a decade in educational administration, Allen has written and produced elaborate YouTube videos performing popular song parodies to keep his students, parents, and staff informed and entertained.
I try to choose ones that are fun, that are recognizable, and that work for telling the story I'm trying to tell. Snow days, 2-hour delays. Snow, the white stuff. Christmas breaks. Spring breaks. We could really use it.
Not to mention COVID closures.
Goodbye, COVID-19. I wish I never knew you at all.
Parent-teacher meetings.
Hello, parents, my old friend.
And even winter safety.
Slippery ice, slippery ice.
It seems no school issue, or musical genre for that matter, is safe from Alan's punchy parodies. And while his videos provide this natural showman a creative outlet, Alan says the biggest reward is the engagement with his students and staff.
It's not separate from my work, it's for my work. It's a part of what I believe is part of my role, which is to encourage and inspire and affirm.
So for now, it's back to school for Superintendent Allen and back to the old drawing board for the parody principal.
I looked at the building, I was finally here to settle on in for another school year.
I'm Jeremy Roth, reporting.
School can be fun.
It can be fun.
Now those weather ones, though, I can see you and the rest of the weather team kind of putting some of those together.
I'd probably slip in the snow. I will say that.
All right, what would we do right now, though, with all this heat? We'd have to come up with.
Well, we got some rain chances actually on the way here for us. Sunday and Monday, 30%. We're gonna have a 20% here for the afternoon showers, but Sunday and Monday is looking like our best chance for some rain. So.
All right. Well,
keep
keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here in 30 minutes for 25 News Now at 6.